And these are the 5 paintings I managed to get finished in October. Every time around this time of year, my creativity begins to actually switch itself off. I don't know if it's a winter thing or because I find my creativity quite seasonal, but either way, around this time I start to get less ideas, I start to get less frantic, and I'm less in 5 different places at once. And the good news about that is that I actually tend to get more work done, because I'm not starting a ton of projects. I'm actually just quite labor intensive, and I finish a lot of stuff. This year, that kind of creative implosion or settling or just resting, whatever it is, began in September, and I managed to get quite a few things done. I think if you watched one of the previous videos, you'll have seen that. And it seems to have happened again this month. I've managed to get 5 paintings done. I've nearly finished Inktober. Technically I finished it, but I've given myself 2 challenges. So that's 62 drawings in 1 month. And I think I'm 10 shy, so give me till next week and I'll put that video up and you'll see the whole thing. But yeah, it's been a big month creatively. Also, sideline, I got married. Me and Stu finally got hitched. We've been together 12 years, so it wasn't a big deal, but it was a lovely, quiet day, beautiful, and yeah, that's done. I'm officially wed. So with that in mind, let's get to these paintings, and I'll show you what I've been up to. So this is the first painting of the month, and it's one of the prompts from the Inktober sketch challenge, but I took it to a slightly different place in the painting. If you saw the last vlog, you'd have known I had some of these circular, bigger canvases that are quite thin. So the paint on them was a little bit you have to work in layers, because it's I don't know, it's kind of a weird texture. I don't think I'd buy them again, but it took the paint okay in the end. You had to do a bit more work on it, but it came out alright. The lines here are just Posca markers, nice, quick and easy to get those done. Everything else is just exploring this spider theme. Not technically just a Halloween theme, I draw a lot of spiders in my work anyway, but these actually, this is my favourite out of the month, and I wanted to start on this one because my favourite piece got the least amount of likes on my Instagram, and not quite sure why, but that tends to happen. But anyway, this is this one. I'm going to try and get you some close-up detail shots. I know in the last time I was doing this, I just kept showing you shadows of the camera, but I'm hoping I can get some more detail in now. Anyway, so hopefully that picks up some of that. Those eyes were a bit of a bugger. I am not entirely certain that this piece is finished. It is my least favourite of the month. I took the face from another drawing in the Inktober challenges, but in the original drawing he was bald and he had some puppets on his head, so I wanted to see if I could turn that into like this sickly Victorian boy, but it just didn't work. I'm not a giant fan of it. The only thing I think might make it, I don't know whether I've just seen it too much, because sometimes when you see your work too much, all you see is what's wrong with it. But for this, I might add some glasses, because I think that might, I don't know, the face is missing something, so I'm not quite sure what that is. So this might be finished, it might not be, but either way, I'm going to take a little break from it and maybe come back another time once I've had a bit of distance, because sometimes with a bit of distance you can see what's wrong. This is a close-up on some of the face. The undertones on this are kind of purples and blues and hues of yellow. Those spiders, I actually do like how they came out. And the webbing is just Poscas, and there's spray paints underneath just to give it a nice, smooth, soft, even background colour. If you saw my sketchbook tour, you would have seen this picture in that, and I knew the second I drew it I wanted to paint it up into something, and I actually like how it came out. The background again, it's all still spray paints, Posca markers, tons of acrylics, layers upon layers. And I think in acrylics the face came out a lot softer and some of those details in there I actually prefer to the watercolor sketch. It's just done on an ordinary canvas, nothing fancy or frilly about that, but the again, this theme of spiders, it's shown up a lot in my work, and I think it's going beyond just Halloween stuff for me, although to be honest I live in the spirit of Halloween. But yeah, I think if I were to do anything different I might add a bit more here, because her neck gets a bit chunky in that region for me, but that's about it. Maybe darken this, but no, I'm okay with how it is. I think it came out alright, and I quite like where she is. Here is a bit of a close-up of the face so you can get some of the softness, and I hope the camera picks up some of the layers and the details in that, because I spent good time trying to get that a little bit more lifelike. I always go back and forth between wanting to do something very realistic, which will probably take months for someone on my skill level, to wanting to put something a bit more stylized in, but yeah, I kind of like this. I like how it came out. So this is one of those canvases where I go back and forth constantly. I love it, I hate it, I love it, I hate it. I think I put too much dusting on the background, so it made the acrylic and the Poscas were just harder to take to the canvas. I had to really work them in. But this sort of crazy ponytail idea I've used a lot, and I'm going to continue to use it, and I'm actually working on a piece right now for my little November collection, because though I love painting some creepy stuff, I've done a lot in a very short space of time and I need a little break. But the taking some of this out into different themes I think can be a good theme to explore for a little while. But yeah, she came out okay. I suppose if I wanted to do anything different, maybe add a bit more hair here, because that is a fair bit of real estate there. But again, I'm practicing on getting some more of the skin tones right and balanced, and I'm slowly getting there, but it's a learning curve. Again, I hope that the camera picks up some of the work I've done on those skin tones, because they were a bugger. I worked hard on them. As for getting the ponytail or the braid of perpetual motion, she came out alright. She did. I think, I don't know if I were to do, I didn't put the web in the background of this one because it just didn't feel like it needed it, and it was just a bit, maybe I could do a little string from the spider's buttocks, the spider's butt there, but nah. I like how this is. I'm keeping this as it is, I think. Who knows? This one was actually in my bin pile, and it was part of an older collection. Like I said, I've been doing spiders for a while. It's part of an older collection that I just never got it quite right. I couldn't find a way to make it work. And then I had a couple of days spare because I'd finished those 4 paintings and thought, well, just have a go with that. So I know I've technically done 5 paintings, but most of this was already done. And it, again, I like how it came out, playing with the web again, trying to sort of make it a little bit more asymmetrical. The hair was originally completely white, but I wanted to get some violets and some blues and some deeper greys in there without taking it too dark. I think if I were to do it again, I might change the colour of the hair or change the colour of the eyes, but I actually quite like the sort of the burning fire, the fiery stare in that kind of old Victorian sullen, sunken face with tons of spiders all over her. I'm supposed to stop doing them, but I'm talking myself into another collection. Anyway, so this came out okay. I'm quite happy with it. It's I don't think I would do anything different. I can maybe change the colour of the eyes, but no, I go back and forth. It's the permanent indecision of making art. You're never 100%, even when you think you are. Here's some close-ups, some of the details. That hair was no joke. And some of the details in the eyes you don't always see in the vlogs. And I try to highlight them a little bit on my Instagrams and on my TikToks. But, it's kind of keeping this in focus. But it's all a lot of work. And then of course there's the Inktober sketchbook, which I haven't finished yet, but I will go through it completely in the next video, which I'm going to tell you that I'm doing now so that I can force myself into actually finishing it off in the next week or so, because I try to get these videos out every Thursday, or at least I record them Thursday and try to get them out after that. Or that's the one I wanted to start on, because that is the inspiration for the painting that I did earlier. And that's it. That's the work I've done for October. A sketchbook and 5 paintings, which I think is plenty considering it's not my full-time job. As for what I want to do with the work now, I think with the paintings I will photograph them and offer them as prints or stickers or any of that sort of stuff, but I'm not entirely sure what versions of them you want. And right now, because my audience is small, I'm gonna ask you, what do you want? Do you want stickers? Do you want postcards? Do you want prints? Just let me know. If you want the originals, they will be a little bit more pricey, but we can do that too. If you want to check out my store, it's in the links below. And if you want to check out my website for blogs and stuff like that, I'm also rebooting my mailing list. So there's not a lot on there right now, but if you want to be a part of that, hop on over to the website, which is ryanjamesartist.com. He says confidently. Anyway, thank you for tuning in again. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I shall see you next week.